So, sitting here with Steve Milks, City Council, Auburn, Maine, Ward 4?
3.
3. Apologize.
It's okay.
Working on podcast names, talking about life, figuring things out.
Quentin and on.
So, QCast. We got Coffee with Quentin.
Yeah, I like that one. Of course, that was my idea, so.
And we were chatting about life.
Yeah.
Kids, wife.
Ex-wife.
It's always awkward getting started, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always a trick, like where do you start? How do you get going? Because if we're standing around out by the tree, it's going to be, we're just off the cuff and it's 20 minutes later.
Let's talk about ad hoc committees then. Where the hell did that come from? So, okay, let me go a different direction. So, 1,300 units, Auburn, Maine. Is
13? That's, you mean as far as needs through the city that the city's saying we need, and yeah. There's a number of different.
Where did that come from?
They got a consultant to do an evaluation.
Oh, so it was a private consultant.
I haven't looked into the study that much.
Okay.
To be honest.
All right.
I've seen a number of studies and from different people that it's 2,000-3,000 units at least. And I think there's certain people that want to make it seem like we need less. And there's arguments between people on what kind of housing we need. I'm a believer in we need market rate, because I'm a free market person. I'm a believer in that the American system, the American dream, is a real thing, and had it described to me, it's a ladder. And so you let's say you're born into poverty, and you don't know anything when you're a kid.
Agreed.
Right? You have to be taught how the American dream works. And so in housing as we use housing as an example, if you're poor and you don't have any resources, your options for housing are limited. But if you're willing to work and you're willing to learn, you start with a crappy apartment. And then as you gain certifications and as you work and you become better at your trade,
More valuable,
you earn more money, and then you can get a better apartment, or you can start looking at buying something.
So it's not a minimum wage, it's a starting wage.
Of course, it's a starting wage. The minimum wage is another discussion.
I know, it was there, so I had to grab it.
The unions like minimum wage.
Where did you grow up?
So that's good. We can talk about that. I don't mind talking about myself.
Where did you grow up?
So my dad.
If at any point I'm just shaking
I'll tell you
at me,
I'll tell you to F off if I don't want to.
Okay, fair enough. I don't. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So a little bit about me. How did I end up here? My dad.
I'm an open book as well, by the way.
Yeah. No, I like your story. Your story is interesting. Everything I've heard so far. So, so I'm a suburban. I grew up in suburbia.
Where?
My dad worked for American Airlines.
Yeah.
So I was born in Melrose, Massachusetts. My mom's from Melrose.
Where's Melrose?
Melrose is it's inside 128.
Yeah, I know 128.
And it's right on Route 1 and
south of Woburn or north of Woburn?
East of Woburn. So
okay.
Woburn is 93.
Yeah, but 128 runs through it, doesn't it?
It runs. So 128 goes around Boston.
Yeah.
It's a loop. 93 goes into Boston. So it bisects.
Woburn, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So Melrose is off Old Route 1. So it's just south of Saugus.
Sure.
You remember where the hilltop was and all that? That's just north of Melrose.
Okay.
My grandmother lived there. You know, she worked in a bank. She was a secretary at Tufts for many years. it was a blue collar little city back in the old days, old America.
What years was that you were growing up there?
I didn't grow up there. I was born there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I was born there when my dad had gotten a job with American Airlines and was going to start in Denver at Old Stapleton Airport. And my mother was pregnant, 9 months pregnant, and she didn't want to go to Denver and get a different doctor and all that. So she stayed in Melrose. And when she had me, the same doctor that delivered me delivered my mother. So like this is what Melrose used to be.
Yep.
Melrose Wakefield Hospital.
Community.
Small.
People knew each other.
Blue collar. I mean, it's very different now because of what's happened, and it's multi-million-dollar houses and all that. But so I was born in Melrose, and then after a couple of weeks, moved to Colorado, and we lived in Colorado. And then my dad got promoted to DFW, Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah. Okay.
The new airport in Dallas. So he was in the food and beverage. He worked for Sky Chefs, which was part of American Airlines.
Sure, I appreciate some of their food. It's tasty.
Yeah. And this
I'll
was
admit.
back in the, late 60s, early 70s.
So it was probably much better then.
Yeah, it was before deregulation. The airlines were all regulated. So
Back when it was glamorous to fly.
it was glamorous to fly, and everyone is, they catered to people, and the food was good, and they had restaurants in the airports, and it was, it was pretty neat. So I remember when we lived in Colorado. So I moved from Aurora, Colorado, to Dallas, Texas, through Aurora, Colorado, to Cleveland, Ohio, because he got promoted. And then
How old were you in Cleveland?
kindergarten.
Okay.
We lived there for about a year and a half, and then we moved from Cleveland. My little brother was born in Cleveland. I'm missing Syracuse. Syracuse was in there. My sister was
Wow,
born
you
in
bounced
Syracuse.
around a lot, huh?
I was born in Melrose. We moved to Syracuse. My sister was born in Syracuse. We moved to Colorado, Syracuse, Cleveland, Dallas. Dallas is where I remember Cleveland and Dallas well. First kindergarten in Cleveland, first grade and part of second grade in Dallas. My mother took me to a Texas Rangers game. We lived in Arlington. So I remember the Texas Rangers game. She it was a day game back then. This is probably 71 or 72.
I was
Right.
born in 73.
Yeah,
You're
I was
dating yourself.
66. Yeah, I'm 59, almost 60,
51.
which is hard to believe. But and then we moved to Colorado. So I did second grade through halfway through sixth grade, 3/4 of the way through sixth grade in Colorado, and that's where my golden childhood. I loved Colorado. I learned how to ski there, and my mother took me skiing the first time. And my dad worked at Stapleton International Airport, ran all the food and beverage for Sky Chefs, which is part of American Airlines.
Yeah.
And so, I played baseball and football and all that growing up, and lived in a neighborhood. Track housing, suburban track housing.
Lots of kids running around.
Yeah, and every third house looked the same, except that the cupola was on the other side, and and rows of neighborhoods and a bunch of kids. Ride my bike everywhere.
Parents go to church? Did they take you to
Yeah,
church?
my mother took me to church. My dad was a good guy. He'd been in the Navy. He was right out of college. He went into OCS, and he was a lieutenant junior grade. Did 4 years, 60 to 50. Right at the end, he graduated from college in 59 or 60, and went right in the Navy. Did 4 years, 64, and had met my mother, and they wanted to get married. And they said, "Hey, you want to stay in the Navy? We'll offer you a command at sea."
No
And
kidding.
he's like, where? He goes, "I'm a lieutenant junior grade, command at sea. That seems like quite a jump." So it was the Southeast Asia.
Oh, yeah, beautiful
he
place.
He goes, I'll pass.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
The smell
I'm going to
of
go
napalm.
get married and start exactly. And it was to be a riverboat. captain, and but guys from his class took it, and a lot of them didn't make it. But
What a shitty job.
yeah, so he got out of the Navy and had me in '66, and did the corporate America thing. But I grew up hearing stories of the Navy, and he's a true patriot. So my love of country started when I was a kid. My mother as well. They're American dream people.
How did you wind up in Maine?
I met my ex-wife
Mm-hmm.
in Boston. So we didn't finish all the places.
Oh, okay. So we're in Aurora.
So now, we're back to Colorado the second time.
Where in Colorado the second time?
Englewood,
Englewood.
which is just south of Denver.
Okay.
Suburbia.
I didn't know there
this
was an
on
Englewood in Colorado.
Englewood, Colorado.
You think
yeah.
California, you hear Englewood.
There's a bunch of Englewoods.
Huh. I wouldn't have guessed.
Englewood, Colorado.
Makes sense.
It's right next to, it's one town over from Columbine.
No kidding.
Next town over.
You ever notice how America, it's a lot of repetitiveness? There's like 20 Portsmouth, 16
Yeah.
Portlands, probably 18 Auburns.
Yeah, all over the place. I lived in Worcester. There was an Auburn right next door.
Yeah.
Auburn, Mass.
Yeah.
And then we moved. We bought the couch, my ex-wife and I's couch in Auburn. And we moved that couch that we bought in Macy's in Auburn. We moved it to Auburn.
Coming full circle.
Full circle. Full circle. So then my dad got a job when deregulation happened in the airlines. They started really cutting food service and all that. And my dad took a job with a company called Ogden, based out of Boston.
That sounds
And they
familiar,
were doing,
Ogden.
Yeah, Ogden Food Service. It's a big company. And they were doing international. Excuse me.
No, you're fine.
International food and international flights, which was still regulated. So your food and beverage was still important. And he ran all the food and beverage operations at Logan. And so we moved to Massachusetts.
That must have
And I
been
was in
something to
sixth-
see. Logan before it was what I know is Logan. So I started.
Just a crazy maze of bridges going everywhere and roads in and out. And
Yeah. Route 1, go over Danvers, head right in. Yeah.
Danvers. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Danvers is old stomping grounds of mine.
I was a high-rise window cleaner as a younger man.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Spent a lot of time.
That's insane.
We had a place in, it was New Hampshire, right outside Canopy Lake Parks, whatever town, Salem. And so we stayed in Woburn a lot, the hotels, and we went all the way down to Maryland. So very familiar with it, but that was like late 90s, early 2000s. So
You went up on those things outside onto like 60 stories up.
No, I can't remember now. I think it was 35 and below, but I think the tallest I did was 21 stories, and we were in Bolson's chairs. The 1 year that I was doing high-rise window cleaning, there were 51 deaths, and all of them were on swing staging, the mechanical staging.
Yeah.
We used ropes and your own setup, your own rappel device. You touched everything. You knew if something went wrong, it was 100% your fault.
Wow.
Versus the mechanical
The things
stuff.
that the staging that would fall, you see the videos of them and guys hanging on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That's
and
insane.
I've seen a few accidents where ropes caught and it was 100% those guys. It was their fault, or the person on the roof that's supposed to be maintaining the equipment while you're off the side of the building. It was all human error and was very, very preventable. And luckily no one died, but yeah.
200 feet up is way up there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I got some pictures somewhere. The trick is the rope. The longer it is, the heavier it is. You got to have some pretty strong forearm. So when you rappel down, you take a loop and you wrap it around your rappel device to lock it in place.
Right.
Well, now you got to pick up 200 feet of rope, right?
Oh,
half
right.
inch, 5/8, 3/8, and wrap it up and around your rappel rack. And that sucker gets heavy.
I bet it's like gotta be 50, 60 pounds, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Then you're unwrapping it and you're
Yeah.
trying to control your descent by how hard you squeeze the rope. That'll stop you. It's enough friction. And yeah, it was fun though. It was good.
That doesn't sound fun at all to me.
At that age, it was fun. I wouldn't want to do it now.
I never realized how scared of heights I was until we were going to my sister's wedding and my kids were little, and we stopped at the new bridge up by Buckfield, Bucksport.
Yeah.
That goes across the Penobscot.
Yeah.
They've got that
Oh, it's huge.
that observatory at the top.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, that sounds like a great idea. Took the kids to Fort Knox. We walked through there, showed them, the old, Revolutionary fort, and then we went up. We go take a look. It was a perfectly clear day, and you get up to the top of that, and the elevator opens, and it's glass, 2 stories glass, ceiling to floor to ceiling. The elevator opens, and I'm like, wham! I hit the back of the elevator because it's 450 feet straight down, and I'm like, oh my goodness! And I'm like sliding out of the elevator along. It seemed like the pathway was about 6 inches wide, and it was a normal hallway, I'm sure.
You ever see those? I've never been on one, but have you ever seen the glass catwalks?
Yeah.
Oh,
I could
not a
never
chance
do
in
it.
Hell,
Never.
chance in hell. No.
I've seen videos of it where the people are lying on it because they're trying to crawl. That would be me.
Or they get the gag ones that where it starts cracking. They get like a video.
Yeah.
No, not me.
No. My daughter and I send videos back and forth once in a while of people doing crazy stuff up on high, and we're both the same way. It's like my knees get weak, my stomach starts turning over. Yeah, I'm very.
So never before then, though.
I never realized it. I used to love climbing stuff. When we lived in Colorado, we camped in the mountains, and I was always like, oh, let's climb up rock faces. And,
Look over the side.
oh, yeah. It never bothered me at all. And then that one, ever since then, I've been,
And you were a house painter.
yeah, I painted houses, so it didn't have any problem going up 2 stories and out on ladder jacks with 2 by 12s or 2 by 10s. And then I don't know what happened. Ever since that time,
Maybe you
hit
need
me
your
like-
ears clean. They say that throws off your equilibrium.
there's a lot of stuff going on between my ears that needs adjustment.
So you're in Colorado.
Yeah, so then we moved to Massachusetts, and I love football, and I'm like, oh, at least it's a different planet. I love Colorado. It's sunny every day. You know, great childhood, tons of friends in the neighborhood, riding our bikes all the time, go camping in the mountains. And we moved to the North Shore of Boston. And like, people are different. You know, Mass Hole is
I
legit.
think.
It's real.
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody's weird. And I'm like, and I'm the oldest. I'm like, what planet did we move to? And I'm like, at least football season starting this fall. Going to junior high, at least football season starting. Go to junior high. Oh, we don't have football.
No kidding.
I'm like, we have soccer. I'm like, I hate soccer. So anyway, I was never a big fan of the North Shore, Boston.
So you finished your schooling there in North Shore?
Did junior high and high school on the North Shore, Topsfield.
Now that's
Went
the
to
Italian
Masconomet.
sector, right? North End.
No, not the North End, North Shore. I live up near Danvers,
Okay. Yeah. All right.
and my dad commuted to Boston.
Okay.
And it was
Now I
a
can
super
picture it.
super nice town. I make fun of it now, but I've got friends from there, but I always kind of felt like an outsider,
I can imagine.
you know.
Yeah, at
And
that age.
yeah, and I went through high school and played sports, and I went to college. Went to Cornell University, upstate New York.
Did you play basketball in Cornell?
Football.
Football?
Yeah.
Oh, so you were football. I thought you were basketball because you were a basketball coach.
I was a basketball
So I just
coach.
assumed.
I played basketball in high school, and I always played basketball, but I played football in college. That was my first love.
What position?
I was a wide receiver.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Fast. Good hands? No?
Good hands, not
Okay.
fast.
Gotcha.
I was sneaky because I'm long and lanky. So, and I understand defense. So I know how to get open, but no, I'm not fast. I guess I'm faster than most, but not faster than
Just fast enough.
just fast enough. Right.
Pretty good. Well, you.
I was pretty good in high school, and then in college, everybody's good.
Yep.
And I was close to playing, but I kept getting hurt because I didn't have the discipline that it takes to play in college. You need to really be committed from a standpoint of you really got to work hard. You really got to work out. You really got to be committed year round. You got to constantly be a fitness nut. And at that age, I liked beer and girls and parties and a lot of those types of things. And so,
Hence the struggle began.
exactly. So I've got great friends from it, and it was a great experience. But you know, I've got a 40-year-old ACL reconstruction, and I
Hey,
dislocated
was that
my
from
shoulder.
football?
Yeah,
Oh, no kidding.
yeah, 1985.
Oh, what kind of surgery? That's where they flayed you open,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And
I
they
got
went
a nice long scar about a foot long.
it's so much different now.
So much different.
Have you ever looked at that where they shoot you up with the they take platelets
Cortisone?
from your bloodstream?
Oh, like
Yeah, the platelet. I don't want to say anybody's proper name, but there's a couple of doctors here in Maine that do it. They take platelets, white blood cells. I'm not a doctor.
yeah.
They take and they regeneration. They
Yeah.
shoot it into your knee and it helps regenerate. I don't know if there's a limit to how long the injury is.
Well, that might be for cartilage.
I think ligament and cartilage. I think it does a total. Yeah, it's something worth looking into.
Well, I'm pretty happy with it for the most part.
Okay.
We called him, it was Dr. Zelko. He's probably long gone at this point. I don't know, but
Well, for anybody who's listening, we're in a secret disclosure I can't tell you about, but you got a monkey up here to get here.
Yeah.
And no, I'd say you're not comfortable with it. I'm going to say that your knees still bother you from what I saw.
well, getting onto that, from the undisclosed
jungle gym?
location, getting onto the staging, it was more the fear of heights, I think, than, although yes, I'm careful with my knee. It's 40 years old,
I understand.
ACL reconstruction. But I still ski, I walk, playing golf.
Doesn't scare you to ski, huh?
No, I love skiing.
I was a snowboarder. It terrifies me. I won't go. I won't do it.
I tried that once, and I felt like I'd played a football game afterwards because it was my feet are attached, and it's like you catch an edge, and it's like
You catapult.
wham. Yes,
Yeah.
I brought it back into the place afterwards. I said, "That's all right. I'm going to stick with skiing."
Detach.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you can alternate leg. You can catch yourself. I don't like falling down.
I'm not stable enough to ski. I could never get the hang of it. I tried it a few times. I snowboarded and took to it like that. Loved it. Did it all the time.
Did you surf?
No. No. I was born in Texas. I was raised in Maine. You don't surf in Maine. There are guys that try, but you really don't surf in Maine.
Yeah, I know. My buddy that was the coach at Bates surfed off of down at Cape Elizabeth.
All I can think is lackluster, disappointing, cold.
Cold. That's what I think of it. It's the ocean scares me.
Yeah, same. It's kind of vast.
Yeah.
And there are things I can't tell what's in there. I don't.
Yeah, my
wanna-
dad probably put the fear in me unintended, but because he was in the Navy, so he was on a cruiser, USS Boston, and he told me stories of being out in tropical storms in the North Atlantic and green water on the bridge and stuff like that. And he goes, "You have to be careful with the ocean; it'll just take you. Don't ever underestimate the ocean." So I've always had this fear.
Who's the poet? Yeah, I'm gonna mess that up. So they've been writing poetry and stories about the sea and how you have to respect her for years and hundreds and
Oh yeah, since the beginning of time.
yeah.
Old Man in the Sea and
Thank you.
Hemingway.
Yes, thank you.
Hemingway.
Thank
yes.
you.
Yeah, Hemingway.
As I said, I used to read a lot. I was really, I might be giving myself too much credit, but I was super, super smart. And then I got whacked in the head so many times in my travels.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. You learn to adjust to it, but your memory just isn't quite what it should be. I take the Prevagen. I don't know if that helps. Oh,
Does
yeah.
it work?
I couldn't honestly say one way or the other, but I take it religiously. I do, there's those apps. I've got one on my phone that's supposed to help your cognitive abilities. I do that religiously every morning. I try really, really, really hard. I quit drinking last November. And I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic, but I was definitely a drunk. Definitely a drunk. I'm the guy that you go, that guy probably shouldn't drink. Glazed over eyes.
Oh.
Apologize every next morning.
My buddy calls it, I've heard snot dripping drunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't a snot dripping drunk.
I was a snot slinging drunk.
I was a textbook functional.
Yeah.
Never missed a day of drinking, never missed a day of work.
Blackout.
No?
Never. I never missed a day of work
Yeah.
unless I was
Did you
in
used to
jail.
black out though?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot. Yeah. And I always had to apologize, and I wasn't sure what I was apologizing for, but I knew I did something. Always. I was
the
always
look?
like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then you pretend you know. And little details come out, and you're like, huh. I kind of remember that, but I don't really remember that. Yeah, it was terrible.
It's just easier to call yourself an alcoholic when you quit.
Nah,
'Cause
I'm
then-
gonna stick with drunk. I was a drunk.
That's good. That's good. That's fine.
Okay.
I like to call myself an alcoholic because then it reminds me that I wasn't okay. So if I keep reminding myself that, then I'm never tempted to pick it up again.
See,
Not that I ever am. I'm very happy this way.
I am too. So it's kind of funny. The first, you probably could relate, the first short period or the first period, you think about it and you want to go back to it. It melts away tensions. It does this and the other. And then you reach a point where you're just like, it really doesn't make things better. And you said something and I won't be able to get it right. I drank to get away from my problems or no?
Yeah.
Say it for me.
Yeah. So I quit drinking because I thought I'd solve my problems. And then I just realized how many problems that I had.
When you quit.
Yeah.
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 And I thought I could just do it on my own.
Dude.
And so I white knuckled for quite a while. And then I stumbled into church one day. And Pastor Roger sat up there preaching to me
Over here?
over at East Auburn.
Yeah.
East Auburn Baptist. I walked in there and this little guy came up to me and said, I was standing outside, he says, little guy comes up to me, what are you doing here? And I go, I'm not sure. I got invited there and my his friend mom brought my son and her son. Her son wouldn't go to Sunday school without a friend. So she was like, can you have Dan come to church? And my ex-wife, he said, okay. And I heard they were going. So I'm like, oh, I should go. I don't know why, but so I'm standing there. This little guy comes up and goes, hey, and I go, I don't know. I'm just a lost sinner, I guess. And he goes, me too. But I'm glad you're here. Hits me on the arm and off he goes. I'm like, that's nice. Somebody said hi. And so I went in, sat down, and the music was great. And all of a sudden the sermon starts. The guy was the pastor. It was Pastor Roger.
The little guy that patted you on the arm.
Yeah. Said, hey, I go, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just a sinner trying to find answers. He goes, yeah, me too. And he stood up there and preached about salvation and about how you can lay your regrets and you're forgiven. And it's freedom. And he's preached right at me. Obviously he wasn't, but preached right at me for a couple of months until finally just one day I realized what it was. And it's true. Those regrets and all the baggage that I'd been dragging around, the questions on, why does everyone else have a good relationship and a good family and I don't, and I'm living alone, and why is my career not as good as people I went to college, you went to a good school, why is your career not where it should be? And all of these regrets I'd been dragging around. And Pastor Roger said, it's paid in full. You can let all that go and accept the gift and then start moving forward.
So
I let it go.
You were able to just go.
It's a process. No. Was I able to just let everything go and overnight it was better? No. No. But it was a pathway and a tool.
Yep.
That allowed me to continually grow. What it allowed me to do is start over. That's there was a beginning and an end. Mm-hmm. An end and a beginning, actually. We talk about the old man dies and the new man is born. And now you're a child of God. And now you can start growing. And the guy that runs the men's group, Randy, there's been a couple of different people that have had significant moments. He had at one of our men's barbecues, he talked about what happens to new Christians. As you think you become a Christian, you realize you accept a gift that God died, Jesus died took the sins of the world on him, and it was the ultimate lamb, the ultimate sacrifice, so that humans could then create a relationship with the Father.
Sure.
That's what the cross is about, is Jesus taking on your sin and my sin, taking all of it for all of us so that we can create a relationship with the Father and be forgiven. Because in the Old Testament, it's all about sacrifice and the first and everything's sacrifice, and Jesus is the ultimate sacrifice. You accept that, and you accept that gift, you're now a child of God, and that relationship happens. That's the principle. So what happens to new Christians, this is Randy used to talked about it. He said, you become a Christian, you think you're going to get, all of a sudden everything's going to get fixed overnight. And then you go home and you sit in the same room and you have the same problems. You have the same bank account. You have the same life, because what's changed is your relationship with God. Said, so it's really like God gives you your life, and it's like a farmer gets a really small plot of land, and now you have your life, and you've cleaned it up, but it's just a piece of dirt, and you're a farmer, and you have to cultivate, and you have to tend your field, because weeds grow up in your field. So you plant your seeds, and then you have to tend your field. And pretty soon, when you continually water and tend your field, shoots don't grow up right away, but after a certain amount of time, little new life starts coming up into it. And as you get better at managing that field, God gives you more things to do.
Now, is that yours, or did you borrow that from Randy?
I got that from Randy. Yeah, I don't have any original ideas.
Me either.
Everything is borrowed or stolen from somebody else.
I do like that.
Yeah, that really was. And so for a number of years on my refrigerator, I had tend your field. And sure enough, things started happening.
Like it or not, those who have found some sort of peace or relevance within the faith tend to be better people. And there's this big push, this culture of anti. Yeah, I get stuck in the whole world of, and I can't help it. I grew up welfare housing. My grandfather paid for me to go to a Catholic school. I went to a Catholic school until 8th grade. They threw me out. And then I went to public school where I got thrown out.
Yeah.
And then I got a GED, and that was that. But I always believed in God. I just have some bias, or I have some baggage. But I really get bothered by, and you see it a lot, the satanic. And I can't help it. My mind wanders there, and you watch these people, and they're hurting, and they follow this. I don't know where I'm going with this, Steve. I don't know.
Well, there is good and evil in the world. People, I think in our world today, people want to sugarcoat good and evil. They want to say, well, truths aren't truths, and evil it's not what it is.
Give me an example.
So
I can,
what's the explanation?
It's wild. Super Bowl half show. I can think of a number of examples of just symbolism and ritualism and T-shirts and.
It's what causes evil. What's the answer?
Selfishness, greed. Selfishness is the big one.
Yeah, but what causes?
I don't know.
Selfishness. That's a question. The answer, I believe, is that the devil causes evil. That there are demons in the world.
Now you can't have one without the other, right? You can't have a good without a bad. It's a yin and a yang.
Yeah, and if you look at the Bible, and I'm no Bible scholar. I just what I hear in church. I read some New Testament I haven't read the whole Bible, but the Old Testament, there's tons of stories of people and societies that function in the evil. And then what happens to them? God eliminates it. Bad things happen to people that play with evil. And, you know, if you look in the New Testament, Jesus was tempted by the devil when he was in the desert.
Yep.
You know, people say, well, the Bible's not really the word of God. It's written by man and translated and all that. And I'm like, maybe.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Stupid phone.
It's all right.
Technology.
The Bible, God works through people. So that's how it works. So the Bible is written by people, but inspired by God.
I wish I could, again, my memory, Prevagen, work for me.
Well, if it starts working for you, let me know, because I played a lot of football when I was a kid, and then I drank a lot.
Yeah.
And did various other mind-altering substances. So I've expanded my brain a little too much. I'm sure there's certain groups of people who say, hey, he's just a crazy Christian. Listen to him talking about the Bible being the word of God and all this stuff. And, you know,
Well,
I know it to be true, because I know who I was before, and I know who I am now. And I know that the capacity that he's given me and what he's put into my life when I succumbed and I gave in and I allowed his plan to go, as opposed to me trying to manipulate and have the outcomes that I wanted and try and make my plan work. When I gave it up and realized that his plan is better than mine, that all of a sudden my life went from sitting at my kitchen table like this.
Stop banging.
Sorry. Sitting at my kitchen table like this without much money and wondering how I'm going to pay my mortgage, to, you know, now he's grown my life to where I'm still a working man, and I'm still trying to hustle and make a living, figure out how I'm going to retire someday. But he keeps filling my life with more things than I think I can handle. But he keeps giving me things, and they're different things than I thought. You know, I like to say, I keep thinking that he's going to put the right woman in my life, and then he gives me another teenage boy. And that doesn't mean, you and I know what that means. So that's what, you know, he wants me to help kids, which is what I like doing. I like coaching kids. I like working with young people, and they need a lot of help. And so that's what he keeps pointing me at. So I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Chasing girls never ended up, I always got myself in trouble.
You and me both.
Yeah.
There were times. Oh, yeah.
You stumbled into it, though. So
I did.
You've got a good woman.
Wow, she was patient.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened. Thank you, God. But
yeah.
Saying the voice of God. So
Yeah.
I often find myself being directed.
Yeah.
This is my whole life. And then the folly of incidents through your life. All right, we're going to go down a wild one here.
Yeah.
So I grew up in an angry house. People just anger. I knew anger. I wound up in Iraq. If I wasn't angry, I wouldn't have made it home. And it was kind of funny. And it happened to me more than once. I was sitting there and I'm like, is that why everything happened the way it did?
Yeah.
And then I came home and I met this guy, Steve Roop.
Yeah.
And he goes,
I've heard nothing but great things about him.
He changed my life. He said, why are you so angry?
Yeah.
I go, that's how you survive, man. That's what's going on in here.
Right.
And he goes, no. And like, so I have 4 children and I have a relationship with them all, but it's all spotty. We'll call it spotty. But
I just met your son. He seems like you're doing pretty good with him.
that was the one. Steve influenced me. Yeah. and it changed my life. And you go, why did God put him here? And then he took him away. And you're like, okay, what's next? And that gets me to the nonprofit thing and all these things.
It's a plan that we don't understand.
How do you follow the path? How do you, I don't know. I guess you
I
have a hard time letting go.
That's what the church is for. What the church does, that's why I go to church every week. Because if I'm not, it's called the body of Christ,
Yep.
the church. And the Bible teaches that we're supposed to come together and share in each other's joys and sorrows. That's what the purpose of the church is.
Is that true? Does that happen?
Yes. It's full of broken people. If you think that the people of the church,
I don't remember that from church.
what, the people are broken?
No.
Well, you were a Catholic, right?
Yep. Well, no,
My
I
church
went
is-
to a Catholic church.
Yeah, right. I'm not a Catholic, and I never went to Catholic church. When I went to Sunday school as a kid, I remember it being a joyful place. And then I stopped going to church for a long time. My dad, I understand anger because I had a lot of anger. And people, you had two parents and you grew up in a good family and all the other stuff. And why are you angry? I don't know. But it helped in football. It helped in sport.
Oh, for sure it does, doesn't
Oh
it?
yeah, I was a
Hesitation goes away.
oh yeah
Reaction
I
times
get pissed
quicker.
off and
Twice as, yep.
I did very well and that's why I was good at, in football. It's like let's get pissed off. Mm-hmm. Basketball, I was a mofo to deal with in basketball because I've got bony prominences everywhere. So bumping into me was it hurt.
Bruise maker.
Oh, and I figure out what you don't like, and I just keep doing it to you until you just like quit. Like a lot of people don't like to play games with me because I'm just a ruthless competitor.
A dick.
I'm a total dick, a complete.
You're
dick.
that guy.
Yes, ask my kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I played golf with Cam, my second son Cam, the other day, and he fell apart playing golf. He goes, I don't know what it is about you because Dan, my other son Dan, he plays golf with me and he plays good with his friends and everything else he plays with me falls apart.
Golf is a terrible sport. So
They
humbling.
hate playing golf with me and I don't know how to be anything else, but I'm a mofo. I don't know what it is, but it is part of my personality. So letting go of that anger, because it stayed in there.
Yep.
And it's not healthy.
Festers,
It's
no.
not healthy in society, and it's not healthy in social interactions. And I've got a
It
mouth.
breeds disease inside you.
Oh,
yeah.
it breeds all that. So that anger, I think, is a tool. Anxiety, anger,
Survival.
self-doubt. All of those things are things that are the devil and are tools of evil because it causes breakdowns in human interaction. Anger, all that stuff. That's natural part of humanity. But where's it come from? Like, where's it come from? Like you probably, I mean, if you grew up in an angry household, then you saw it firsthand as a child. I didn't grow up in an angry household. I mean, my dad was an alcoholic. I moved a lot and then I lose friends and never see people again. And then I'd go through, but what's the root of the anger?
I don't even know. Is it something that just innate within youth? Because I remember being a young man and it felt like you were compelled to change something, be a part of a fight. Is that just something that naturally occurs and then you get pissed off?
I think it's
because
I would say
you're not
anger
part of a
is-
fight, or because you have to be angry at something. I mean, as a
I don't know. It's a
teenager,
good question.
hormones driving, pumping.
Yeah.
Whether you're female or male, it doesn't matter. Male testosterone, women being what they are, rebellious, or
I think anger is a natural part of the male psyche.
for sure.
I can't speak
Speak
for
to the
the
woman
female
either.
psyche because, you know,
I figured they'd be more nurturing and nesting, but I met many an angry woman in my life.
yeah. But usually, isn't it a man that caused it?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
I'd have to think
That's-
about that.
we're
one.
like
you say that, I want to say yes, but I'm not 100%.
We are dangerously close to. We're actually far down the line of where I'm literally know nothing.
yeah.
In the female psyche. I mean, we've talked about this. I raised a daughter who I love. You know, I'd gladly step in front of a train to save her.
Mm-hmm.
And I've raised her every day of her life. But there's times I don't understand her at all. And it's a beautiful thing.
and you just smile and drive.
Okay.
Smile and wave, boys.
Yes, honey.
Smile and
I'd be
wave.
happy to do. Yep. Okay. I'll be there. She makes my life better.
So what are you doing with your nonprofit?
Yeah. So, you know, I started a nonprofit a couple of years ago because as I've grown as a Christian, you talked about something, the voice of God. Where does it come from? And is it the voice of God? Is it where are those little voices that tell you should be doing something?
Is your conscience actually the voice of God?
I don't know. Maybe. But I think there's divine action in the world. I think there's good and evil. I think there's a battle.
right, so
for
I'm
the
gonna
there's a battle for the human soul. There's too much evidence historically. I'm a historian. There's too much historical evidence for it not to be true.
Agreed.
I mean, unless you want to believe, as an atheist believes, that it's all chance and that when you die, your body goes in the ground. And that it's just human nature. Which I don't, you know.
So do you believe in heaven, hell, purgatory?
I don't know about purgatory, but I believe that there's a heaven and a hell. I do.
And that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I don't know what else there is.
I struggle with it. Buddhism, energy never dies, it just changes. I don't know if I buy the reincarnation, but I guess if energy never dies, it just changes. That's possible to a certain degree. But your consciousness, your whole you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I struggle with that.
I mean, I don't have the answers because, when my dad died in 94, all of us had dreams about him in the days after. And I know he was sitting there in that dream that I can still remember today, as real as you and I are sitting here.
So what the hell is that?
I don't know. I don't have the answers. Because I believe doesn't mean I have the answers. I can only go by the way when I did it my way. Mm-hmm. When I did my life my way, I made a mess of it. Mm-hmm. When I've followed God's plan, my life has gotten better. I mean, it's that simple. I try and not make the same mistake all the time. I've done it. I've made the same mistake a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really trying not to make the same mistakes over and over. So it's really a simple, if you put it, the old Ben Franklin T-square, and I put my life before God and my life after God and the pros and cons, like there's a lot of cons on this side and lots of pros on this side. And he takes things away. Like he's taking things away. Then I'm like, well, I kind of like that. And we won't go into that.
No, I get it.
But that part kind of sucks a little, but okay.
Did you do AA when you quit drinking?
No.
Didn't need it.
Quit. No, one day.
Yeah. I mean,
one of the staples of AA is you got to believe in God.
Yep.
A higher power.
Yeah. Give it up to your higher power.
Right.
Yep.
So no, I quit drinking. A lot of things were out of control in my life at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was New Year's, and I've had a big glass of red wine.
Everybody loves a dumb drinking story. Let it
Well,
roll.
this was a dumb one. I had lost my job, and
What were you doing?
I worked I worked as a manager in a telecommunications company. I ran
making-
New Hampshire and Maine.
Decent bank.
Yeah, making good money, and it was a chaotic business back then.
What year?
This would have been what year did I? So what year is it now?
This is 24, 25.
25. All right. I guess I should probably know what year it is.
okay.
I've been hitting the head a couple of times.
I understand. I can relate.
So it would have been, this was like 11, 12. It would have been 12.
Fiber optics. No, it was after
Yeah,
fiber.
fiber.
Was it
It
still?
was the end of 2011 because I bought my house in July of 2011. So it was a couple of months after. I had taken a job. It was 11. And working for a friend of mine from the business. I'd been in the business for about 15 years on and off. And this company he was running region. So he was running Maine and New Hampshire. Said, I need a good manager. He called me up, said, you know anybody who might be interested? Because I told him I'd never go in that business again. And I was a pharmaceutical rep at the time.
No kidding. You were a farmer girl.
I was a farmer.
You were a
girl.
farmer babe.
Yeah, yeah. And still
What
drinking.
were you peddling?
Still drinking. Testosterone.
Oh, nice. I like you.
Yeah, yeah. I think I might have to start taking some.
Me too. I actually got tested. I'm low.
Well, we're old.
Oh, yeah. I'm broken.
Yeah, exactly. So he called me up and said, and I was doing 1,500 miles a week in the company car all over Maine. I'm like, I'm going to shoot myself doing this. This is a nightmare. And he called me up and said, you know anybody be interested in doing this, taking over the manager's job down in Portland for this it was Earthlink. It was One Communications that became Earthlink. And I said, me. He goes, you? Yeah. I go, so it's a friend of mine. He goes, all right, it's yours. So I went, I started doing that. A year and a half into it, the company went bankrupt, got bought out of bankruptcy. They turned in an Earthlink, and my buddy got moved just to New Hampshire, and they put their guy in. And he goes, the office is a disaster. It was maybe not even a year, but I said, that's all right. We fixed them before. We'll fix it this time. Sales, So we were fixing it, but it was a disaster. And but we had gotten better, and we were doing well. And then all of a sudden, it got changed. And this other guy said, well, we're coming in, and we've got a low performing offices. We're gonna start turning things over. We're putting you on a performance improvement plan, PIP plan, which is what we used to call parting in progress. Mm-hmm. Right. So I saw the writing on the wall, and I started looking for a job, and I had been coaching at Bates College. And they had this position in the fundraising department that was looking to target your 30-somethings to start developing more relationships into giving. And I knew one of the trustees, and like, that job would be perfect for me. And so I went through the whole interview process all the way. Meanwhile, I'm also going through the PIP process at this company. And go through committees, and it took forever. And I actually knew the VP that was in charge of that department because I coached Bates. I coached at Bates College for 11 years, so I got to know a lot of people there. And this was, so I get all the way, and it's November now. My PIP's up December 1st, and I know what's coming, right?
Parting in progress.
Parting in progress. So December 1st was my meeting with the regional guy. And I'm all the way to the end. So through Thanksgiving, the holidays are there, and I walk in. December 1st, I get my severance and my 2-week severance, and at the end of the month to keep my benefits. December 2nd is my meeting, my final interview with the VP. And it's my job. So I'm like, okay, I might have saved my bacon. So December 1st, I get the walking papers, and the guy's, sorry, it worked out. Yeah, whatever. See ya.
And you think you're going right over.
And I'm next morning, so I walk in 9 o'clock that morning, by my 9 o'clock appointment, and everyone's acting weird in the office. And they go, oh, you must be Steve. We're sorry. Things are a little off today. The guy that's running the office, he just gave us notice. And he's going to Bowdoin. Or he gave us notice he's leaving and taking another job. And so I'll let him know you're here. So I go sit down with the guy. He goes, hey, you probably heard that I gave my notice. And so the college said that all hiring's on a freeze. And I'm going to be going to Bowdoin.
Wow.
And so I walk out like
Oh,
Dan
shit.
Aykroyd in Trading Places. Did you ever see that?
No, I've never seen it.
You've never seen that? Oh,
No.
Dan Aykroyd in the Santa suit, the sad Christmas guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, you have to watch it sometime. It's Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
And the premise of that movie is, can we take somebody from the ghetto?
Yeah. I have
turn
seen
them
that. It's
into-
just
and
been a
can we-
long time. Sure.
And they've now turned Eddie
Murphy into the rich guy.
and turned Dan Aykroyd into the
And
poor
he's like,
guy.
what the fuck?
And he's walking on the streets of Philadelphia at Christmas time, and he's got this Sam in his
Yes.
in his Santa suit.
Trying to figure out how to be poor.
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like Dan Aykroyd, and I walk
bet.
out of this thing. I'm like, what just happened?
Kick right in the guts.
Nothing. And of course, I'm still drinking every night.
Yeah.
Heavy. Go through Christmas. I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to interview and get jobs and everything, and to get to the end of the month, and I'm like, my life's out of control.
Plus trying to show your kids and everybody else everything's fine.
All that.
Fake it.
Exactly. Faking it.
Yep.
Faking it.
Oh, terrible feeling.
Complete fraud.
Yeah. Every time you walk away and you're alone, it's just overwhelming.
Sit there and drinking calms it down. But
Yep.
I'm like, I was drinking heavy all December, all through Christmas. Get to the end and I'm like, my life's completely out of control. I don't know what I'm going to do. At least I can control this. And I poured it down the drain and I quit. That's it. Done. I'm stubborn like that.
No, I can relate.
And I've just put it down, done. And then, like I said, my ex-wife's like, I can't believe you didn't have the DTs and whatever else. I don't know. I didn't, at least not that I know of, but I just quit drinking.
Well, you probably didn't sleep well.
Yeah.
Probably were hot flashes at night.
all
Oh,
that
yeah, those are
stuff. Yeah.
DTs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I just,
Son of a bitch.
give me a drink.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then I just kind of, just grind, like I did at everything, just grind,
Yep.
grit your teeth and grind through it.
So how long between that and finding church?
Probably 6 months.
6 months of misery,
Misery.
trying to figure it all out.
Slow, just spiraling down. And
Yeah.
that's why I think so many people go back, is because they quit drinking and then they look at what a mess their life is and they're like, screw it. I can't fix that.
Yep. It is overwhelming.
It is.
Yep.
And you look at all the things you got things going on in your head and things, and you tell what a loser you are. You're never going to be able to fix all that. Look at the mess, look at the mistakes, look at the failures, look at all the things that you haven't been able to, the reasons why you're not worthy and you're not getting done. And you're just down, down, down. And that's what walking in it, and what church did is all of a sudden it was like, God loves you. God's got a purpose for your life. What? For me? Yeah, all you have to do is say, I accept it. That's it. Everything's forgiven. He hung on the cross so that you can be free.
How long now? How long have you been going to church?
13 years.
13 years.
And it's true. That doesn't mean that it's not work. And it doesn't mean
Oh,
that
no.
it doesn't mean that life becomes automatically good. Pastor Rogers, I heard him talk, he goes, hey,
So if I go to church tomorrow and my life isn't better the next day, I can blame you. No, I can't. No.
Yeah.
You just told me that it doesn't work that way.
no, it doesn't work that way. And now you know better, though. That's what it's about. But it changes your heart. It softens your heart. It changes the way I quote Pastor Roger a lot. He's the pastor for the police department. So,
Here in Auburn?
in Auburn, yeah.
Oh, I must have met him then.
Yeah, he's like he does the invocation at when we get sworn in at city council and all that. He comes and does so he's great.
I must have met him then.
He has all kind. And what I always liked about Pastor Roger is he never stood up there. He never stands up there and says, "I'm saying you should do this." He always says, "If it was Roger, I would be buying tires for my race car." But
I've heard that.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, they haven't.
right. So he's like, Pastor Roger gets angry. Pastor Roger doesn't want to do stuff, but I understand who I answer to. And so I go and do the good things that I'm supposed to do, even though the man Roger gets in the way all the time. So, and he's super funny about it. He tells the funniest stories. And he wasn't preaching from him. He was preaching because God had saved him. And he talks about we've got the Christians that, on the ride to church, everyone's arguing with each other, and then they get out of the church and, oh, look how good I am into church, and they're all being jerks to each other in the car and all that.
And that's the church I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and that goes on. And that's, he said, you can't go out and preach to people. You have to go out and show people. You have to go out and show people the love of Christ and have them ask you what's different about you than why are you able to have joy in the struggle?
And he's a race car driver. He's
Yeah.
so he's a human.
He's a human.
And
The
he's a
name
regular.
of his car, he used to race over at Oxford Plains. I don't know if he's doing it anymore, but he's like the senior pastor now, so he's kind of semi-retired. I think he's about 67 or 68. He preaches maybe a third of the time. His car was the faster pastor.
I love it.
I think he used to talk about it too. He's a terrible race car driver.
Yeah. If you had fun, that's all that
That's right. He
matters,
loved it.
right? Yeah.
He loved it, but he was terrible.
Faster pastor.
The faster pastor.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. So,
So 13 years later,
13 years
you
later.
ambled through everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
and-
You're ambling through everything.
yeah, it's not an amble. It's full impact, because you have to give up yourself and you have to allow what he wants to do for you. You can't do things and say, I want to do this.
So would you say it was a calling to run for city council? We've had this conversation before.
So I felt like I could make a difference.
Do you feel like you did?
Yes,
I would agree with that.
I do feel like I made a difference, because I've learned a lot, and I think it set a really good foundation for me for my next step. And I understand how things
What are you
work.
announcing for governor?
No,
Just
definitely not.
teasing.
I have a friend that who knows politics real well. We know him together, and when they were trying to get me to run for your seat, he and I were talking. He goes, "You're not going to like it."
No, it's terrible.
He goes, "You're not going to like the way people say terrible things about you." He goes, "Trust me, I know you pretty well. You're not going to like it." And he's right.
I think the worst part for me is the two-faced. I have, you'll be in complete agreement and common sense, like literal common sense. Needle exchange, a great one. Currently, we give away endless amounts of needles to anybody for just show up, you're a junkie, and we wanted to go to 1-to-1. Bring a dirty needle, get a clean needle, or bring 6, get 6, whatever the case. And you have all these people agreeing with you, and then when it hits the House floor and you get a vote on it, they vote opposite, and they'll even speak opposite of how.
Yeah, they just told you to your face.
And you're like, well, whoa, the old story about politicians lie. Oh, that's not a lie.
Correct. It's true.
It's unbelievable. And to find an honest person in politics is very difficult.
Yeah. And the way
Have you? I take that back. I know you have. Let's just leave it at that, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah. There's the other thing that I found that Christianity has given is it gives me hope because I know what I
Is there
tend to
hope
look.
in this crazy ass world?
Hope isn't in the world. Hope is in the Lord.
How about for the world?
God loves the world.
Yep.
Yes, because you can change lives.
Yeah, you can.
You can change lives, and you can. So, my focus is now: how can I the idea of retiring and going and doing nothing is, I could never do it.
I couldn't either.
I could never do it, and I'm a full blown ADHD. Because I found out, because you know those stupid things on Crack Face?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, where you hit the reel, and then if you like something, or if you watch it, then they send you more of them.
Yeah.
And my ex-wife, who's a physician, she's like, yeah, you are. You're full. I would love to see you on medication for ADHD, she says. I'm like, I'm not doing it.
No.
God made me this way.
ADHD is a superpower.
I think when I look through and I watch these videos about ADHD, it's actually helped me a lot because it's really made me realize when they say, here's the 6 signs that you may have ADHD, and I have all 6. And then I watch one, these 10 things happen. 88 people with ADHD hate these things. And I'm like, that's me. You know, slow walkers. Drives me insane. I'm like, let's get to where we're going. Right? And people
Yeah, but you're 6 what? 6'1", 6'2"?
6'3", yeah.
6'3", okay.
I used to be 6'3" and a half. I'm going the other way now.
That puts your legs a little longer than most people, so yeah, okay.
But I like walking, you know, so.
I get it.
Yeah. So I'm textbook. But there's also things that are good about it, and which are also textbook that I fit. You know?
Yeah.
I have a different sense of people. I can tell when something's not right with somebody. Mm-hmm. It makes me a good salesperson because I can get a sense on whether or not it's a real opportunity or not. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, when I'm trying to make my numbers and I'm trying to not get fired, I'd make up, this opportunity, even though I knew that deal's never going to come through. So I had enough deals to,
warrant keeping you around to try to close them out.
Although I usually did pretty well. It usually wasn't my performance that got me fired.
What was it?
My mouth.
Okay. ADHD.
Right. My mouth. My mouth has caused me pretty much all my problems. You know, because I'm afraid I'm not good at not telling people, what I
still
think
to this
about.
day?
No, I've gotten much better at it. Much better at it. Because I have more empathy now.
Did that happen with age or sobriety? Or God? Or all three?
Yeah, all three.
Yeah, it kind of happened. It merged.
Yeah, it was a merger of greatness. Yeah. But, at city council, some might say that I'm not good at not running my mouth. But if they knew what I was thinking versus what I said, they would know I'm really modifying a lot.
For me, the mouth part, I'm really good. I perform well, and I can be reasonably articulate when I'm angry. Mm-hmm. But I'm not so good unless I am. It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing. You've seen me speak. At times I can be clear, and at times I'm like, and I just social anxiety.
I think I come across as angry a lot. I don't know what it looks like from outside, but I think I come across as angry.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
And that's probably it's my natural way of being. It's my competitiveness and my aggressiveness. And I think aggressiveness sometimes is mistaken for anger. And it could be, but it's not coming from a point of anger to me.
What we did miss is your nonprofit. What are you doing with that?
So that's come out because you mentioned where does the voice of God, what is the voice of God? And so my kids are done with college. This was last year. My kids were done with college, and I'm looking at, all right, I think what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And COVID, I had a business that originally I met you, was doing military talent source with a friend
Yep.
of ours, and worked a lot. I learned a tremendous amount about the what you've and people like you have had to deal with on a daily basis. And but COVID killed that company because they shut the bases down and companies stopped hiring, and we had that wonderful few years of that we won't get into the
Insanity.
insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in the middle of a number of things personally that I wasn't really in a position to go find a job somewhere else. And I'd be looking at jobs that I'm looking at, and I'm like, and I worked remotely for the company a company in North Carolina. And I'm just like, I don't want to do, like, I don't feel like doing these jobs that I'm qualified for is right. It's not the right thing for me right now. I just don't. And so I prayed on it and all the other things, and it kept saying, you need to help young people. You need to help young people. And so I got, I said, okay, either I'm going to walk on the path and trust. And I found a Bible passage in Matthew 6:24 through 6:34. And I can't recite it, but it's about, don't worry about your life. Do I not feed the birds, and doesn't it, like,
Yep.
trust in the Lord,
And he shall provide.
and he will provide for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm going to do it. Everybody's done. Everybody's okay. Cam's graduated. He's in master's degree. He's good. My daughter's getting engaged, and my son's got his job and graduated, living in Boston. Like, okay, I'm going to do it your way. And I said, I'm going to start a nonprofit. And the mission of it is to help break the cycle of poverty by creating pathways out of poverty into productivity. And it was based off of what we used to do with Military Talent Source, where veterans coming back or people getting out of the military, they've got skills, they've got potential. But the civilian world doesn't recognize them from a certification standpoint.
Yep.
So if you drive a truck in the military,
Right.
you don't have a CDL in civilian. You got to go to a school to get your CDL, and you got to take the classes and everything. And you could have been driving, what you could name
6
the
months,
vehicles.
yeah.
You could have been driving for 20 years. Retired E6,
Yeah.
being a motor transport expert, driven anything in the world that can drive. Gigantic vehicles.
Yep. In worse conditions or good conditions, any condition.
You could be a recovery
Night vision
specialist.
on. Yeah,
Right.
Great recovery.
And-
Yeah, there's so many.
And you step out in the civilian world,
And
and
it
they
doesn't
won't let
mean
you drive
anything.
a truck.
Yep. Same thing with medics. Same thing with.
Exactly.
Yep.
With all that stuff,
Yep.
mechanics, and you don't have the certifications.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
None.
And that's what Military Talent Source was. So we did that, and we were pretty successful at it, building apprenticeships and training programs and helping companies be able to allow veterans that went to the Army because they didn't want to go to college. And now they get out of the Army, they got this GI Bill. They still don't want to go to college, but it's money.
Yep.
So they go to a college to get the housing allowance, which is E5 with dependents, and can be $1,500, $2,000 a month, depending where you are, tax-free.
Yep.
So we'd build apprenticeship programs.
Get a degree they don't give a shit about. Kind of just drudge
burn
their
up your
feet
benefit.
and just kind of.
Right. Where they were a mechanic in the military.
Yep.
A generator mechanic, or small engines, or open wheel vehicles, and they could fix all kinds of stuff, and they come out.
Every job in civilian life is done in the military.
Correct.
And almost none of them are crossover.
Correct.
Very few.
And so what we would do is get a company that's looking for, like we did this with HVAC.
Yep.
So not surprisingly, the government makes it nearly impossible for civilians to understand how the VA works.
Mm-hmm.
They make it incredibly hard. So most veterans don't understand how the VA works either.
Yep.
but the civilian has no chance. So we would build these programs so that the veteran getting out that wanted to stay in doing what they were doing could now get an entry-level job, use their GI Bill to get the training and to get the ongoing certifications, and then they get their housing allowance on top of their training wage.
Yep.
So now a $40,000 a year job becomes a $65,000 a year job while they're getting their certifications. And at the end, they've gotten their journeyman's license, and now they got a $65,000, $70,000 a year job, and the GI Bill did exactly what it was supposed to do.
And they've got a motivation to drive, a goal, a place to be.
Place to be.
Yep.
And they're doing something they understand, and there's a program in place.
Yep.
They understand training. Veterans understand training.
Yep. A goal.
Goals,
Here's the beginning.
training.
Here's the end. I got to get there.
That's right. And
This
so
is my mission.
Exactly. And, I explain it to people that you're taking someone that at 18 years old went in the military, and they've been in a completely different world for 10 years, 8 years, whatever it is, 20 years. 20 years is even harder a lot of times. And then you take them and you drop them into the civilian world and say, go ahead, off you go.
Well, they give you this. I remember out briefing, whatever. You check all the boxes. You do all the classes. You're
SFL TAPS class.
Yeah. Oh, good
you have
Lord.
to go for a week to learn how to be a civilian.
yes, and it's like useless. You've got yeah.
I've spoken at them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I ignored you.
No, that,
I was that guy.
yeah, right. Exactly. That's because they're not teaching them how the civilian world works.
Yeah. It's almost
They're just-
punishment.
It's just check off the box. You went through. We taught you how to go out in the civilian world.
I cleared on post housing.
Yeah.
I cleared. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got my resume. Check.
Yep. Yep. I have.
I look at a resume, it's 3 pages long and single space with every single deployment and everything that you can do. And I'm like, this HR person's going to look at this and they're going to say, this is impressive, but I have no idea what you did.
Mm-hmm.
I need an accountant.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't say accounting. I can't help you, but you're a nice guy. Or they're scared of you and they don't want to say it because we've told everybody that veterans are one step away from committing suicide.
Yeah, that was a big trend for a while.
Yeah.
I think Obama administration through that
Everybody
time
did
frame.
that. Yeah, the 22 and which
Yep.
it's not untrue that there's suicide amongst veterans, but it's not any higher percentage than the regular population. And PTSD exists in the civilian population just like it does in the military.
Sure does.
But they scared the crap out of civilians, and as you know, civilians don't always tell you the truth. We have a saying in sales: buyers are liars,
Yep.
because that's true. Yeah. Oh, sounds great. We'll get back to you. We're definitely interested. And then you call them for a month and they never answer the phone,
Yep.
and you never hear from them again.
Buyers are liars.
Buyers are liars, man.
So how did you roll that into your nonprofit?
So
now?
the concept is the same.
To take
You
these
think
kids.
about it. So you get a kid that's born in poverty.
Yep.
They don't know anything. They only know this small little.
Well, they've got a good survival sense.
They've got a great survival sense, but they know things,
Yep.
but they only know this world that they've lived in. Like, we think that kids naturally understand that they could be a doctor or a lawyer or a mechanic, or you could be anything you want, or a school teacher. But that's because I was told that when I was growing up. We have a mutual friend that was told, you're never going to be worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that, it was through the military and making it through the first couple of years, but the military building a big part of that, plus was their natural survival instinct. But
Yeah,
the military has been great about that, right? About
Absolutely.
taking somebody from a poverty and teaching them how to become a person,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Because they have training. And they have, this is the goal, this is what you need to accomplish, and you can, I can do that. But a kid in poverty looks at the world and he sees TV and the internet and all these things, the way people's lives are, and the facade that people put up in the world, or all the videos nowadays and everything else, and all the TikTok and all this stuff, and it's
not a real world.
it's not real. It's not the real world. So they don't know how to get to where the people are that do have families, and they go to schools. They go to school with the same kids, and they see kids that have, get picked up by their mom, and they have families, and they're able to do things, and then they go back to their poverty, the mess that they live in, and they don't know any different. They don't know any different. So you have to reach people where they are, and you have to you have to provide a pathway.
So you provide a pathway?
So I started digging into the nonprofit world.
Yep.
I said, I'm going to start a nonprofit that builds pathways from poverty to productivity. And I said, I can't fix your childhood, but I can help you understand what you're capable of doing. And my two principles are, I think you can make it in the world if you're willing to learn and you're willing to work. Two simple, but they're very hard to do.
Yep, absolutely.
So I've fallen victim to not being able to do one or two or both of those in my life.
Yep.
Where, poor me.
Yep, you're biased in your head.
Right.
Yep, poor me. I'm
me.
not smart enough. I can't do it.
Right. There's a bad luck.
It's too far away. It's this, it's that. The world's against me.
Right. And you stop doing one of those two things. Stop willing to work, willing to learn. And that's where people break down. And then they get into the cycle, well, I'm just working at Walmart, and they see nothing else out of that. So you need to get, and not that there's anything wrong with Walmart or working at a convenience store or whatever.
But if you're 16 to 23 years old, you've just picked up a new skill and you can apply it someplace else. And you should always be trying to better yourself.
It's
and
a
your
means
conditions.
to an end.
Yep.
If you know that that's part of the plan to get to here, you can tolerate dealing with that in that low end job if you know you're working towards something else.
It goes back to that starting wage.
Yeah. Right. It's a similar concept in that we're trying to help people understand how to get from here to here. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't change
and it's
that.
amazing how many people don't know that there's more beyond this, that you can take what you got from this little position and apply it someplace else and grow it there and then grow it to the next place. You don't even need to go to school, and you can take a skill learned at that basic starting wage position and grow it into something else somewhere else. That's another thing that's scary too, is leaving that first place where you feel secure, you feel,
And it's that first place is poverty. Leaving poverty.
But if you know it, and that's what you know.
That's right. It's scary leaving that, because that's what you know. And
you miss a boil if you've had it long enough.
That's right. But it's your foundation. So as you start getting ahead, and then you start hitting hardship, roadblocks and things in life, your foundation is this.
And of course, the human psyche.
You fall back on what you know. And so people need help.
Agreed.
People need help, and they need guidance, and they need, and I can only speak from a man's perspective. We've discussed this. I tell my kids, there's a couple of things. I got some good advice.
So you don't swap genders?
I don't swap genders.
Not even on the early afternoons with the twilight?
I'm not, I deny all. I deny it all. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what kind of underwear I'm wearing. I tell my kids, if I give you any relationship advice ever, completely disregard it. Do not listen to me.
I'm a failure.
Yeah. I don't know. If I tell my boys.
And I mean that with all the love. I'm sorry. I don't mean that to be hurtful.
You've managed. You've done
pure
it.
luck.
Yeah. But I tell my boys, if I ever give you any advice on how to deal with your girlfriend, your fiance, whatever, disregard it. Don't listen to me. But because
the best advice ever.
Don't listen to me.
I might borrow that. Yeah. I've been lucky here, but
don't listen to me, because I don't know. But being a coach, I've been a coach, and I've always
Mentor.
when I was evaluating my life, I looked at what do I love to do? And I've always loved coaching kids, loved coaching young people. And it's mostly been boys because I connect, I understand.
relatable.
Boys. Right. And I've coached girls, and I had a blast coaching my daughter's softball team. And
I coached them too.
and
Yeah,
I
so
love coaching girls.
it's different though.
It's totally different.
When you see a boy spaz out playing Star Wars, sword fighting somebody, I go, yeah, there's me.
Yeah, right. And
When a girl's picking flowers and watching butterflies, I'm like, what the hell is she doing?
when my dad would tell, he'd like, hey, don't be an idiot. Right. So you can say to, hey, don't be an idiot.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I know what
don't
that
take
means.
it personally.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, what do you mean? Yeah, that's stupid. Don't do that. You can't be that direct with girls as much.
No, you got to be gentle.
It's different.
Yeah, it is.
So boys I've done well with because you can just be straight with, you can just be, but at the same time, you have to be tolerant of the fact that they're still going to do what you tell them not to do.
Yeah.
But you still have to tell them not to, and then you have to be tolerant when they still do it.
And then tell them, hey, I told you not
told
to do
you.
that, knucklehead.
And then they start to do it again, you tell them again, and that's how you develop a relationship.
And that's how they learn.
That's how they learn.
That's where common sense comes from.
So it's like that with, so God said, you should be working with kids. I'll take care of you. Okay. I go, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, but all right, I'm going to do it that way.
Steve, I love you. My teeth are floating. I got to pee so
Hey,
bad.
let's take a break.
But, okay, we'll take a break then. Perfect. All right. So where did we leave off before I had to go pee?
We were talking about, you'd asked me about my nonprofit a couple of times, and
Yeah.
and I had told you I was on, I lived in Matthew 6:24 through 34, which is,
I shall provide.
I will provide for you. Trust in me, trust in the Lord. It's Proverbs, it's all, trust in the Lord and he will provide a way for you. So I said, okay, my kids were in a good spot. And I'm like, I'll do it. So I did. And I started a nonprofit. I got involved with a bunch of, so the concept is, it's called Great Falls Youth Corp.
Mm-hmm.
And it was based on the military talent source model that kids have the potential, and I truly believe this. I believe every kid has the potential to be a productive member of society.
I think every person, child. Yeah, absolutely.
But
It begins.
What happens is when people turn into adults, and it's all hardwired, it's very hard to change adults. But a kid, even a kid that's 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, they still have malleability. They still have an ability to change their life. And you saw it in the military.
Yep, 100%.
The military. Now, it's not easy to do, and it takes a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get a kid that's willing to work and willing to learn, and you're willing to roll up your sleeves and spend time with them, and empathy and love and true care, because a kid that's grown up in that sort of environment, they don't trust you.
No, they think you want something from them.
That's right. And because it's a legitimate concern of theirs.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's a learned experience.
It
Yeah,
sure is. And so the only way to overcome that is with time and consistency. And showing them that you're authentically trying to help them. And there's no other way to do it. It's like what Pastor Roger says, you can't preach to people, you have to show them. And you can't show people by sitting on the sidelines.
Nope.
That's why, certain groups of people love to create programs to help people, because they can say, oh, we're so throwing money at that, but I can I can still go to my fancy house and I don't actually have to go down there.
Right. And actually live it.
Right.
Be around it.
But I'm a good person. I created a program.
Or I donated.
Right. So,
which is nothing wrong with. I mean, I get it. People
donating
are busy,
is different than creating a program.
Yeah, fair enough.
That to me.
Yeah.
Donation, you got to have it.
And the kids.
So, yeah,
That's where it starts.
Right. And the kids you can still change their life. You can help them change their life. You can show them how. They can be taught. They can learn. And adults can too, but they have to really want, you have to,
It's a retraining
it's a
program.
retraining program. It's it, right. And I'm a living example that I can be retrained.
Fair enough.
Right. But it's
As am
literally
I.
taken God
Yeah.
to retrain me. So you got to, so the concept is if we can take these kids and create for them the idea, if they're willing to work and learn, that you can help them create and understand that this step isn't the end. It's part of a path to something that's in the future, and get them to start dreaming and thinking of things, thinking things outside of what their world is. And then through that process, be with them. So there was a whole lot of stuff that went on going through this. It was finally approved as a 501c3 in January.
So this is still new.
Oh yeah, this was last year. And so and it was a heavy lift, and I had some very good friends of mine donated some money to it, and very grateful to them for that. And then I'm like, I still have to make a living. How am I going to make a living doing this? And he was like, just keep on with it. And then I'm like, I started to panic a little bit. So I tried to start a little consulting company doing recruiting and all that stuff on the side, and nothing worked. Didn't matter what I had great leads. No. This was yes. This was no. I borrowed some money to stay afloat. No. Couldn't get any business. So then I'm like, I got to just, all right. And then one day in my head it said, go be a substitute teacher in Lewiston. So I went over because I couldn't. I'm a city councilor in Auburn.
Right.
So I went over
Yeah,
to I went over to Lewiston. The people were open arms welcoming me in. It was an unbelievably awesome experience. Those kids are fantastic. It's the center of all of the issues that we have in our society today with
So that was your
asylum seekers.
yes.
That was my yes. And I went in there, and they really liked me, and I thought, okay, I'm on the pathway to becoming a full-time teacher and all that. And I did that for 3 months, but I'm still the whole time I'm there, I'm like, I trust you, Lord, but I'm running out of money, because that was a little bit of cash in wasn't covering the bills. And I'd been talking with this friend of mine about something else, because I'm an entrepreneur, and I got a bunch of things going, and I own, and I do
ADD?
have some ADD, and I have some rental properties.
Yep.
And with the partners, and we have some things going on which have taken longer than we thought were
Yep.
going to take, and some properties that we have equity in them, but we're not taking the equity out. So it's not like I'm broke, but I was cash. I didn't have much cash.
Yeah.
And I paid for my share of colleges, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, God, I'm trusting you. And I did this, and I'm getting to the point where I don't know, really, without doing something drastic, like going to people and saying, I got to make a financial, like get a loan to be able to survive. I'm going to go and be a teacher. And still, when I'm doing my budget, I'm like, all right, I don't know how I'm going to pay, but that's neither here nor there. Going through this process, and I got a phone call. My friend that I'd been talking to, I was a client of this company through our payroll company. That was a client of this, and he calls me up and said, "Hey, we got bought, and I need to start a team, and you want to be on my team?" And I go, "Well, what is it? What do we do?" And he told me what it's doing, how much it pays. I'm like, "You're kidding, right?"
The number matches.
The number was close enough for I'm like, okay, it can work. I go, all right, yeah, let's talk about it. So and I explained to the folks at the school, and they were great about it, and it made sense. And I still was doing my nonprofit and all that. And so I talked to his boss in my second interview, and he goes, no, no, no. And he gave me a number that was higher. He goes, it's not, starting pay isn't what he told you. The starting pay is actually higher, the salary with the commission. And that was the right number.
Isn't that crazy?
So, and I left, and a great relationship, and I met tons of kids. So I go to this job, and then another boy that I've been working with, a young man, and I'd gotten to know, started a basketball program in Lewiston. He started it on his own, 23-year-old kid, Somali immigrant.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and I've known him through CAM, and we'd become close and talking with him and helped him with a couple of things. And he had started this league and had 120 kids from age 14 to 22 that were all kids from, so we were able to get this league up and running. This was after I got the job that's now paying my bills. And now he and I have been working together, and I talked to one of my friends.
Former basketball coach.
Yeah, former basketball coach.
Funny how all that falls in your lap.
It falls right in my lap.
Nice Somalian kid who usually plays soccer, but today
he's a good soccer player, but he's a good basketball player. He's a good friend of Cam's, right? That's how.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
wild how everything lines up.
I knew a ton of the kids in that program
From substituting?
from substituting.
Isn't that funny?
His plan is better than my plan. So during this, and then now with his job, it fits exactly with the things that I'm good at. And I like it. And my boss is super cool. And he and I have a lot of the same, like he is a yin to my yang in the way that, like, he's got friends that call him, he's like a, because where I'm scatterbrained and I like people getting along, and I like teams, and I don't like rejection that much,
Mm-hmm.
which has been a problem in sales.
Which is wild for somebody who was in sales.
Right. Well, I'm good at the people part, but I'm not good at, and I've been in sales where, our standard was, if someone doesn't tell you to F off every day, you're not making enough sales calls.
Okay.
And I'd be drinking at the end of those days. That's why, that was how I got, at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm oh, that's better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And get up in the next morning. I'm like, okay, go. And then at the end, I lived that way for 20 years. And 20 years in corporate America is how I lived. By the end of the day, I'm like, I got to get a drink, or else I'm going to, dealing with that world. So, and my boss is like, he goes a million miles an hour, and he's got a million things going on, and he's completing them, and he's like, one of his friends, I can't remember the right term, but he's like, you're like a cheetah on cocaine. So we fit really good because we talk, and he's a great guy, just a as quality a guy as there is. And so, and things have happened at work, which we're not going to talk about, but it's like stuff falls in my lap because I'm following him, and this thing is growing. And now my transition is going to be, I really feel like I'm is community building.
Mm-hmm.
Is where I want to, is my next step, is what I want to do once I'm done, because I'm not running again. And so how do we, we talked a little bit off camera, is what do I think, how do we change?
Yeah. How do we fix? Because things are obviously devolving into a chaotic state.
And I knew we were going to do this, so I was thinking about it, and I think back to why I'm able to have the hope is because I was taught by a patriot. What is the American dream?
I could tell you my definition.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. What's the American dream?
It's just a quality of life, really. To have peace, to have family, to be able to better yourself, to be able to give your kids a better future. And I learned a long time ago the most patriotic thing you could ever do, and this was from a Medal of Honor recipient. He was a colonel, World War II. I think he was, I won't quote where he was or what he did, but he said the most patriotic thing you could do is not join the military. It was to get a family, to raise your children to be productive parts of society. That is the most patriotic thing you could do. And for me, that is the American dream. I love to see my kids succeed.
Yeah, I agree with that from what the American dream is. But what is a kid that's been born into the chaos of drug addiction and poverty, and what do they think the American dream is?
A Slim Jim.
Yeah, or what does it that a Somali immigrant
Or there is none.
that's dropped into Lewiston and just given, here's your rent, here's all these things. What do they think the American dream is? Because what I learned,
That's a good question, because I've never thought of it from that point of view.
and so what I know is the American dream isn't free. Right? I learned my dad taught me at a young age. He was a historian. He was a history buff. I learned. We went to Gettysburg as a family on the family trip, driving down the Pennsylvania Thruway on the cement block, ba-dum, 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 for 8 hours to go look at a field.
Yep.
That's, and my dad saying, "You don't understand what happened in this field." And when I was a 14-year-old pain in the ass, I didn't appreciate it. But now that I'm 59 and I look back and I appreciate what my dad taught me, because he taught me what the American dream was and what it cost. And I don't think I certainly don't think in education, we don't do a good job of teaching what the American dream is. Because the American dream is anybody can live the American dream. And
That's the beauty of America. Yep.
yeah. America isn't our border. America is an idea
Yeah.
that it's based on freedom with responsibility
Given to you by the Creator.
given to you. Right. But that's what Christianity does, is it gives you freedom. That's why communists don't like Christianity. Because there's somebody higher than them.
Yep.
So we, as patriots, need to understand that we need to realize that not everybody understands what the American dream is. And we need to teach people what the American dream is, because I think when you do that, when you teach somebody ultimately that the American dream, and then they're able to start walking down that path, and they see it, once you turn somebody into an American, and I mean that by I don't care what color you are, I don't care what your background is. Once you become somebody that realizes that this is the only place in the history of humanity
Correct.
where you can be free,
Yep.
truly free, then it's not without responsibility.
So the $1 million question.
Yeah.
How?
One person at a time.
How do you eat a whale?
That's it.
One bite, baby.
That's the only way. And so a big part of my underlying motive in my nonprofit and reaching kids that are in poverty is part of their process. Part of that process, if they're willing to work and learn, is teach them. My dad I didn't sit down and get a notebook and here, study these are the principles of America. He told me stories.
Yep.
And he told me what's right and what's wrong and how it works. And and then I got interested and I listened to people, and someone explained the idea of how wealth is created. Right? Where other than in America, the idea of how you got wealthy is you took somebody else's.
Yep.
Right?
Current. Yep.
Right? But in the American system, the American concept created by our founders based on, the Enlightenment and, the law of supply and demand is that, all right, Quentin, you have you have an idea to start a podcast. You need equipment. I sell podcast equipment. I buy it, I get it. You don't know anything about podcast equipment. I buy the podcast equipment. I say, hey, Quentin, you want to start a podcast? I bought it for $10. I'm willing to sell you this podcast equipment and show you how to work it for $15. That's fair profit to me.
Mm-hmm.
And you got value because you don't have podcast equipment. You don't know how to buy podcast equipment. That $5 is wealth.
Yep. 100%.
A win-win situation. I profited. I had a fair profit. You got something and you got value. Wealth is created out of that.
And then with that $15 investment, you could make 30.
Right. Now I go buy some more podcast equipment and then I pay my mortgage
Yep.
with the $5. And I buy food and now I buy I go to the grocery store and I buy food that the grocer bought for $1 and sells for $2.
It's going to drive you crazy, this whole government-run grocery stores.
Well, it doesn't work.
No, absolutely not. I wish I could remember where it was. Nebraska, Oklahoma, they tried a government-run grocery store and the shelves were empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they've
I
tried it
wish
in a
I
lot of
could
places. Venezuela is a good example.
Again, I wish I had an editor, a Jamie.
Yeah,
He
they
just-
can pull it up for us on here. But you don't. All you have to do is look at history.
Yeah. Show
You
me
can
a
look-
successful socialist.
There is none.
Here's a great one for you. A friend of mine, I don't know, I'll use his name, David Boyer. He's a good friend of mine. I really like him. He sent me this thing yesterday. He's witty. I am not. And I always appreciate good wit.
I think I follow him on Face Crack.
Face crack. Face looker.
Yeah.
Congratulations and killing us all. Not food dyes and vaccines. Talking about capitalism, this person. David responds, so socialism? The person responds back to David, what's the scariest part of socialism for you, David? David responds quickly, too, by the way. I want to say this was like less than a minute. The body count.
Yeah.
End of
Famine.
discussion. No response.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Name one successful socialist country. Venezuela is the most recent destruction of a society. They were so filthy wealthy. They were giving us oil, talking about how they were the good guys. And now look at them. They opened the zoos and ate the animals.
I don't even like to call it capitalism because capitalism was a term that comes out of the Communist Manifesto.
Is it?
Yeah, capitalism is the other side of socialism in Marx's
So what would you call our economy?
free market.
Free market. Okay.
Mises, Austrian economics. I'm more a libertarian than a Republican.
Same.
Yeah, I got a lot of issues with the Republicans.
Same. I was unenrolled for 32 years.
Yeah. I mean, I have no choice but to vote Republican because I'm not a communist.
Correct.
So,
And the hijacking is real.
and communists, there are real communists. Mm-hmm. And that's for another podcast.
And even if you don't call yourself a communist, look at your ideals.
Right, just because you don't call yourself one doesn't mean that all the things that you're doing, it's written down in the Communist Manifesto.
Correct.
And if you do those things, you might not call yourself a communist, but you are still practicing communism.
And do you ever notice they're the most unhappiest a lot?
Of course they are.
No joy.
Nope.
No God.
There's no
love.
no
Only anger and victimism. Mm-hmm. Victimism? Is that
victimization.
Yes. Victimization.
Victimhood.
At least you're part of a club, I guess.
Yes, right. You belong.
You belong to other hateful, angry victims.
Yeah. And because it's the way that the communist gets power is by creating victims.
Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. The last thing I ever wanted to be was a victim. I do remember being a young man and thinking I was.
Yeah, it's easier than
I
taking
remember
responsibility.
leaving Catholic school because we went to religious class once a week. We did history, social studies. We learned about other governments. And I remember being taught that the only reason socialism hasn't worked is because it hasn't happened here. And I didn't necessarily buy that. My grandfather's a World War II vet, Merrill's Marauders, very patriotic. My father was in Vietnam. This is another whole story. but I believed America was great. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. They just didn't reconcile in my mind. So I didn't completely buy it, but I remember thinking there was some truth there as a young man. So it started way back in the 80s and probably before that in the schools to wreck the minds of children, because mine was on that path. And I wonder how much of my resistance to school had something to do with not believing the things I was being taught. You know,
Well, I mean,
and not knowing, consciously doing it, but I was very rebellious against teachers about the school. I hated sitting still. Like, the whole system was broken in my eyes, and how they tried to force you into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I didn't buy school either, it was a means to be able to play sports.
Yep. I didn't have sports. I've heard that before, though. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so
French fries are just
I
a
can
vehicle to
remember as
get ketchup in my mouth.
Yeah,
School is just so I could play sports.
that's right. That's what I wasn't allowed to play sports.
Thank you,
I mean, you
Norman
couldn't-
Sonia, by the way, for the French fry quote.
Oh, all right.
It's a buddy of mine when I was growing up.
That's good. Well, ketchup's a vegetable.
There you go.
You know,
It's part of the food group.
that's right. That was Ronald Reagan said that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, he was a great man.
Yeah.
Ronaldus Maximus. So that's I stole that from Rush Limbaugh.
Okay. I was going to say it sounds familiar. I'm trying to place it.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's it.
Rush. I
Again-
never was a big fan of Rush, but he did have some good ones.
He was, early on, because I did some crazy stuff after college, and I went down and after Hurricane Andrew and worked doing painting, and so we'd listen to Rush.
That was 1992.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I remember that.
I was a ski bum for a year, and then I went down to 2 years actually.
April 1987 was the
Two
Muhammad
winters.
Ali
It was
fight.
about a year and a half, and then it's like I got to get out of here, and then we drove to Florida and worked after Hurricane Andrew, which is a lesson on human nature.
I think I was in Daytona Beach when that happened.
Daytona Beach.
Yeah. Trapped.
You were a kid,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're 8 years younger than me.
Yeah. 51. Yeah.
Yeah, so you would have been just
17,
Did
18.
you go to high school?
No, I didn't go to high school.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah. No, I went my freshman year, I think is all I did. I don't remember. It's kind of a blur. I did drugs. A lot of them.
Okay. That Daytona Beach is good for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good for getting kicked in the face, too, when you're sleeping. But whatever. That's another story.
Right. That'd
Yeah.
be some fun. I bet we could tell some funny Florida stories.
Florida man.
Yeah. Florida, man.
Everything starts in Florida. You got to put it through the Florida filter.
Right. Right.
Oh, I was just listening to something the other day. They were talking about bath salts. You got to run it through the Florida filter first. Remember the guy who ate someone's face high on bath
Oh,
salts?
right. Yes. Yes. I do remember that story.
All the crazy shit happens
Had a
in
shotgun
Florida.
pulled on me in Florida.
I got kicked in the face in Florida. I got cut in Florida.
Yeah.
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 But a beautiful state.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, yeah. So I think that's where we have to start. I don't think enough people understand the American dream
No, I don't either. And I think
and what it takes. You can't be given it. And I think there's the philosophy by, let's call it the left, thinks that you can give somebody the American dream.
I don't even like saying left. I'd say it. I don't know what this. So
Yeah, I don't know. These
so
people say
weird.
the left. It's the people that are that think a government program can provide the American dream.
which is counterintuitive.
It cannot do it.
No, it's polar opposite.
And I think that philosophy is, they're quick to point out the flaws in free market. Oh, well, you missed that guy. This person did. That person's not going to get there. And they're never willing to look at all of the destruction that government programs create.
Yep.
And the fact that the only winners in government program are the administrators of the government programs, the people running it.
Yep.
They get great salaries and benefits and retirement programs, and they're the ones that are benefiting from the program.
And at the end of the day, you wind up with two cultures: the haves and the servers.
Correct.
So with kids, obviously the young generation is the generation that needs to learn this message.
Kids are receptive.
Oh, for sure. But how do you reach them? I know you're working on your
Yeah. So
your
you have to
program.
reach them where they are, and you have to use things that they like.
No, I guess that's not physically. Like, how do you convey that message? Where, how, when, what? I mean, because I'm not allowed to go to the school and teach a program
Correct.
on how to be a good American or what
So
free
I'm working
free
with-
market is.
so
Or,
I have been working on this concept with the boy the young man I'm working with.
yeah.
And I'm educating him to what the American dream is, and allowing him to grow what he's growing, but also talking about the big picture stuff that we're working on. Because I have some other people that, like, this has grown. It's more complicated than just this nonprofit, and so. And I don't really want. I can't. It's too complicated to get into. So
Can we filter it down to this?
to this. So I'm educating this young man on what the American dream is, and it's stuff he's never heard before. And so we have to get access to those kids. Like you said, you can't go into the school. The school has a monopoly, and they're not letting you in. And they're not letting me in. Well, they actually did let me in, and those kids were receptive to it.
Yeah.
I would tell them the story. I would tell them about kids get authenticity.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And if you show up and you're authentic, they're going to bust your chops to see how serious you are. They're going to bust your nuts. And if you still keep coming, they'll begrudgingly like you. And you'll start making connections and relationships, and that's how you can start. But the answer is you and I and people like us need to go downtown. We need to engage in young people, with young people.
So if I'm just the average person sitting out there and just say I stumble upon this podcast and they're listening, what do? Go downtown? I mean, most people are afraid to go downtown, especially Lewiston.
Yeah.
The safest city in Maine.
Lewiston is?
No, but they used to
Yeah.
advertise it as. They stopped reporting.
I would say educate yourself on the American dream. What does that mean? I don't think the average
How
person...
do you share it though? How do
share
you reach to? How does the average person, like? So for me, it's a struggle. My wife
and your
and I.
family to start.
Yeah,
And I don't know the answer to that.
yeah, that's where I struggle.
But you're not going to share it at home. I mean, you share it at home. Obviously, you can share it at home.
Somehow
but
you got to branch it out.
you have to be willing to go out. And my answer is, if there's a voice inside of you that says, I want to help in this place, like,
Follow it.
do it.
Listen.
Listen to that. Whether it's cooking for the volunteers at church, whether it's being a volunteer at school, whether it's going down and helping in a soup kitchen in a homeless shelter, or it's getting on a committee in the city, or I don't go into an elderly home, going to downtown, the one across from Fairview, and playing music for the old people.
Yeah.
Do that. Like, all of those things need to happen, because that spreads the love. That spreads the love of, because at the foundation, we want people to be free, because ultimately that makes everybody better. And you can only be free if you can take care of yourself. And if you're willing to if you take care of yourself and you take care of your family, then old people will get taken care of, because people will care about them. It's this society of, you grow up, nobody cares about you, you become an adult, then you get old and no one's cared about you because you haven't poured into somebody else. We have to start.
You did mention one thing though that I think we lack here in Auburn and that's getting involved in a committee at your
Yeah.
city, or even just coming to the city and being involved in anything.
Anything.
Reasonable people is an extreme shortage, and I know everybody's busy and they say, I got this, I got that.
Yeah.
But really cutting some time and going down there and sitting in a city council meeting, seeing what's happening, because the people who have time aren't necessarily agreeable. I don't know how else to say it without being vulgar or mean or nasty, but that's ultimately what it is. They're not agreeable, and decisions are being
There's a
made.
certain group of people that love that. And there's people like us that don't really want to do that.
I want people to be able to do their own thing, live their own life.
And there's another group that
Find
love those
success.
meetings, that love going and doing the government.
I hate it.
I don't like it. And people, it's not fun.
No.
But that's what we have to do. You're absolutely right. Go to a city council meeting. Get involved somehow. But it doesn't just have to be through city government. That schools need volunteers. Go and volunteer at school. Schools need substitute teachers. You don't have to be a certified teacher to be a substitute teacher. And be authentic. You don't have to know a lot about anything to be a good substitute teacher. Go and volunteer, and whatever it is that you think, like whatever that little voice in your head is that says that's, and if it's for somebody else, don't do the voice that's saying that for yourself. That's
Go have a Big Mac and French fries. Well, have a large burger and French fries.
Right. I mean, if it's something that you think is going to help somebody else, and it's this little thing inside of you, do it.
Yeah. If
One
you're compelled,
person makes a
follow it.
difference. And if everybody does that, the problem will take care of itself.
And we're only here a short
Right.
period of time. So
And in the end, doing that you're going to get more out of it than what you give. That's how that works.
isn't that funny how that works?
It's how that works.
It is true too.
It's true.
I always feel better giving something than getting something.
You get tremendous amount to it. So, if you don't understand what the American dream is, then get knowledgeable. Understand what it is. Like read some stuff about what the founding fathers were actually, the concept of what it was, and start talking about it. If you're not doing anything to help your community, do something. Help somebody else.
With that, Steve, I think we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
Get some lunch.
Sounds good.
And thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you very much. This has been really fun, Quentin.
Good. I'm glad you
enjoyed it.
came.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
have
you
to
so
do it
much.
again.
I'd love to. Yeah.
Perfect.